BlakeLively caught in shocking rumors of secret feelings for Justin Baldoni during the filming of It Ends With Us, whispers of unrequited love, lawsuits, and Hollywood betrayal. Paint a picture darker than anyone imagined. Fans are left questioning. Was this forbidden crush the spark that ignited one of Hollywood's most chaotic meltdowns? Or is there a deeper truth hidden behind the cameras? BlakeLively, once celebrated as one of Hollywood's golden girls, now finds herself at the center of a storm that feels ripped straight from a primetime soap opera. Insiders whisper that during the filming of It Ends With Us, Lively may have crossed the thin line between professional chemistry and real-life attraction with her co-star Justin Baldoni. The theory swirling across gossip blogs, fan forums, and social media threads suggests that Lively allegedly developed a crush so intense that it blurred the boundaries between the scripted romance and her off-screen reality. Fans point to her history as evidence, citing her rumored sparks with Penn Badgley on Gossip Girl, her whirlwind connection with Ryan Reynolds on the set of Green Lantern, and even whispers of tension with Ben Affleck during The Town. They argue that Lively has a pattern of letting on-screen intimacy bleed into her personal life. And now with Baldoni, the speculation is that she tried once more to transform fantasy into reality. Reports claim that during rehearsals, Lively allegedly tested the waters, throwing out flirty comments and subtle gestures designed to gauge Baldoni reaction. The chemistry on screen was undeniable, but behind the scenes, the whispers say Baldoni remained cold, distant, and firmly professional, rejecting any advances with silence or deliberate avoidance. This alleged rejection, insiders claim, left Lively embarrassed and frustrated, especially as cameras captured the magnetic energy between the two characters. She played Lily, a woman caught in a whirlwind of passion and pain, while Baldoni embodied Ryle, a dangerously attractive yet complicated doctor. The dynamic itself was combustible, and fans say the intensity may have spilled far beyond the cameras, with Baldoni supposedly unwilling to indulge the off-screen spark. Lively was left in a position where her usual charm failed to capture the attention she wanted, and according to the juiciest versions of this conspiracy, she responded by flipping the script instead of being the woman, pining she allegedly reshaped the narrative into one of misconduct accusations and lawsuits. Suddenly, Baldoni, the man who rejected her, was painted as the villain, and Lively, the woman at the heart of the production, emerged as a wronged party in a scandal designed to bury his reputation. The theory grows darker when you consider the timing. Lively had just welcomed her fourth child, and some argue postpartum emotions combined with a hyper-romantic storyline created the perfect storm for blurred boundaries. This is Hollywood, where reality and fiction dance together. And the result was a behind-the-scenes meltdown that fans are still dissecting frame by frame, from Instagram comments that felt just a little too flirty to tense behind-the-scenes exchanges caught in candid photos. Every shred of evidence fuels the fire. Skeptics insist it is all baseless gossip, pointing out that Lively is a consummate professional with a devoted marriage to Reynolds and a career built on discipline. But scandal chasers insist the puzzle pieces fit too neatly together. The flirty comment on Baldoni's sweaty workout post, the rumors of Ryan Reynolds stepping in to protect his wife, the infamous penthouse confrontation, and even sly Deadpool cameos allegedly mocking Baldoni all tie into a story too messy to ignore. Whether this conspiracy is fact fiction or some volatile mix of both, it has already cemented itself as one of the most captivating Hollywood narratives of the decade. A tale of unrequited love, rejection, power, and the desperate need to control the story before it controls you. The rumor mill does not stop at whispers of unreciprocated affection. Instead, it dives headfirst into the messiest corridors of Hollywood gossip, spinning a tale where BlakeLively, faced with Justin Baldoni's supposed rejection, decided to reclaim control not through quiet acceptance but through chaos. Insiders allege that when Baldoni failed to respond to her alleged advances, Lively felt humiliated. Left standing at the intersection of heartbreak and pride, the narrative shifted dramatically from subtle glances and flirtatious banter to accusations that turned professional collaboration into a legal battlefield. Some fans claim this was a calculated pivot, a way to ensure Baldoni would never be the one holding the power in their interactions. The theory paints Lively as a strategist, using her influence and her established reputation to redirect the spotlight onto Baldoni, transforming what may have been an awkward private dynamic into a public spectacle with lawsuits, headlines, and social media discourse. The tension on set reportedly became unbearable, with costume designers complaining of her sudden wardrobe changes that disrupted continuity. While Baldoni's method acting style only added more strain to an already volatile environment, rumors spread that Lively blurred fantasy with reality, pouring too much of herself into her character. Lily and expecting Baldoni to mirror the same. Vulnerability off-screen. When he refused to cross that line, the alleged spiral began fueling a toxic cycle, where professional boundaries became indistinguishable from personal grievances. Fans point to Lively's own words about the script, where she described it as emotionally explosive, even cryptic. Suggesting it awakened fireworks inside her. Conspiracy theorists latch onto the phrase fireworks, interpreting it as a coded admission of attraction toward Baldoni, whether deliberate or not. Those words were enough to send speculation into overdrive. Gossip blogs connected dots between past relationships, noting how Lively's romances often sparked with her co-stars: the Gossip Girl days with Penn Badgley, the Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds, and The Town with Ben Affleck, each case blurring professional dynamics with personal attachment. By this pattern, Baldoni fit neatly as the next chapter in her history. The alleged rejection was not just a personal slight. It was a disruption of the script she was used to playing. From there, the theory darkens even further, suggesting Lively sought to rewrite the narrative entirely by painting Baldoni in the role of aggressor, flipping sympathy in her favor. The supposed evidence gets juicier. Her playful comment on Baldoni's workout photo, now interpreted not as harmless banter, but as a subtle signal dismissed by him. The alleged penthouse confrontation, where Ryan Reynolds reportedly stepped in to defend his wife. The whispers of a Deadpool cameo, mocking Baldoni as a petty jab, all fuel the belief that the rejection set off a chain reaction, where fiction, reality, and retaliation collided in spectacular fashion. Skeptics argue this theory is outrageous, pointing to Lively's professionalism, her role as a mother of four, and her long-standing marriage to Reynolds as proof she would never risk everything on a fleeting attraction. Yet the scandal thrives precisely because it feels both absurd and strangely plausible. Hollywood, after all, is no stranger to blurred lines and shattered reputations. The production of It Ends With Us has already been described as chaotic, with clashing egos, emotional themes, and high stakes, the perfect breeding ground for gossip, whether fact or fiction. The story has taken on a life of its own. Fans obsessively rewatch interviews, zoom in on behind-the-scenes footage, and dissect body language, hunting for clues. Every lingering glance, every half smile, every moment of tension becomes potential evidence in this ongoing conspiracy. And in a town where speculation is as powerful as fact. Lively and Baldoni's alleged entanglement has already carved itself into Hollywood legend. The whispers around Blake, Lively, and Justin Baldoni do not fade. In fact, they evolve into a darker, more tangled web, where every look, every gesture, and every rumor becomes part of a puzzle that fans and tabloids cannot resist piecing together. The speculation suggests that what began as an unreciprocated crush turned into a psychological battlefield on the set of It Ends With Us. Insiders claim Lively's discomfort with Baldoni's professional distance escalated into frustration, her alleged feelings colliding with postpartum vulnerability and the intensity of the script itself, which demanded both intimacy and conflict. For some, this was a recipe for blurred lines where fiction and reality merged dangerously close. Gossip circles argue that Lively may have confused her own emotional turbulence with the chemistry required for her character, Lily interpreting Baldoni's restraint as rejection rather than professionalism. From there, the rumors spiral. She is said to have shifted the narrative from quiet longing into loud accusation, her alleged hurt repurposed into a weapon, with Baldoni cast as the villain of a story that was no longer confined to the screen. Supporters of this theory point to her history of forming attachments, with co-stars suggesting it created a pattern that, when broken by Baldoni's distance, felt intolerable, thus sparking a retaliatory storm that quickly consumed the production. Whispers of behind the scenes chaos grow louder, with claims of heated meetings, costume disputes, and creative clashes, all painted as evidence of a deeper undercurrent of personal tension. Fans dissect Lively's past behavior, recalling how she described the script as sparking fireworks within her words, interpreted not as admiration for the writing, but as thinly veiled hints of her own emotional entanglement. Others cite her Instagram interactions, playful yet pointed as breadcrumbs in a larger trail of hidden desire. Skeptics counter that such claims are exaggerated products of gossip culture, but in Hollywood, perception often outweighs reality, and perception has been merciless to both Lively and Baldoni. As the rumor deepens, Ryan Reynolds is drawn further into the story. Some allege that his protective, Instincts exploded when he learned of Baldoni's supposed rejection and subsequent treatment of his wife, fueling speculation of an infamous penthouse showdown, where sharp words were exchanged and tensions skyrocketed. Others insist Reynolds even inserted jabs at Baldoni through Deadpool's humor, blending personal grievance with professional output, whether true or fabricated. The narrative paints a picture of a couple united in pushing back against Baldoni, reframing him as an antagonist. While Lively reclaimed control, the gossip crescendos with wild claims that Baldoni fat-shamed Lively during a lift scene, a cutting remark that left her devastated and reignited old insecurities, fueling further outrage from Reynolds and giving oxygen to the legal firestorm that followed. Each layer of rumor builds upon the last, transforming what could have been a simple rejection into a saga of humiliation, retaliation, and courtroom spectacle. Critics point out the flaws in this theory, noting Baldoni's reputation as a deeply empathetic figure and Lively's image as a consummate professional. Yet the contradictions only seem to make the story more magnetic after all. Hollywood thrives on paradox, the angelic starlet caught in scandal, the motivational speaker accused of cruelty, the loving husband turned secret avenger. It all reads like a script too dramatic to believe, yet too tantalizing to dismiss fans. Scour interviews for subtext, magnifying every word between the actors into proof of hidden turmoil, every sidelong glance into coded resentment, every awkward laugh into evidence of unresolved tension. What emerges is a fever dream of speculation, where Lively's supposed attraction, Baldoni's alleged rejection, and Reynolds' rumored intervention collide into a narrative as messy as it is captivating, whether truth fiction or a mix of both. It fuels the kind of obsessive fascination that ensures this rumor will never truly die. Instead, it becomes part of the mythology of modern Hollywood. A cautionary tale whispered in gossip blogs, dissected in podcasts, and replayed endlessly in the imaginations of fans, convinced that the real drama of It Ends With Us never made it to the screen at all. The spiral of chaos only intensifies as whispers evolve into a relentless storm that engulfs BlakeLively, Justin Baldoni, and everyone tethered to the project. It Ends With Us fans are left wondering if they watched a love story or the dismantling of reputations. Crafted in real time, because what began as subtle gossip soon mutates into claims of manipulation, power plays, and behind the scenes, warfare. Insiders allege that Lively, humiliated by Baldoni's indifference, refused to let her narrative collapse. Instead, she is said to have seized control, spinning her embarrassment into a performance of victimhood that pulled every spotlight toward her courtroom. Whispers suggest she leveraged sympathy, painting herself as the wounded star, while Baldoni, the man who rejected her, became the cold-hearted villain. The cruel irony is that Baldoni, known publicly as a man of empathy and optimism, found himself recast in the tabloids as a predator of power. His positivity videos mocked his motivational persona, doubted, and his credibility shredded by accusations he insisted were baseless. The speculation grows even more twisted, as some argue Ryan Reynolds played puppet master, shielding his wife and weaponizing his own Hollywood clout to ensure Baldoni's career would suffer. Those rumors claim he used his influence to quietly spread doubt about Baldoni's professionalism, sabotaging him in boardrooms, even as the world laughed at Deadpool cameos that fans swore were inside jokes aimed directly at Baldoni. Others whisper that Lively herself used her status to rewrite contracts, override directors, and bend creative control, until the project became less about storytelling and more about survival. Meanwhile, gossip mongers latch onto every shred of supposed evidence: Instagram comments, costume disputes, even pauses in interviews, all magnified into smoking guns, proving a hidden agenda. The story mutates further when insiders recall the infamous penthouse confrontation where Reynolds allegedly lashed out at Baldoni, an unconfirmed yet irresistible tale of Hollywood egos colliding behind closed doors. Was it rage over a fat-shaming remark? Was it loyalty to a wife's pain? Or was it simply rumor twisted into myth? No one can say with certainty, yet fans replay the story endlessly, crafting their own versions of the showdown. The speculation feeds itself, becoming larger than the truth, with some saying Lively played chess, while Baldoni stumbled through checkers, shifting every piece until she appeared untouchable and he appeared guilty. Conspiracy lovers insist that the lawsuit was never about misconduct, but about narrative control, a strategy to bury rejection under legal weight to transform a personal slight into a public crusade. Skeptics argue it is laughable, suggesting no professional actress would risk her career on such petty foundations. Yet the contradictions only fuel the obsession, because in Hollywood, the unbelievable often becomes reality. Every Headline adds fuel to the fire. Every whisper deepens the intrigue until the drama itself becomes the product, eclipsing the film. It was meant to serve audiences no longer debate the story's characters, they debate the actors themselves. Blake, as the scorned schemer, Justin as the professional caught in a web. He never wove Ryan as the husband avenger. The narrative swells with so much tension, so much speculation that fans forget they are dealing with lives and careers, not fictional arcs. Yet they cannot look away because this is Hollywood, and Hollywood feeds on stories like these stories where love, rejection, power, and betrayal bleed together until the truth is no longer the goal. Only the spectacle, and in this spectacle, every glance, every rumor, and every silence becomes part of the script. One written not on paper but in the court of public opinion, where reputations are either crowned or crucified, and the verdict is always dramatic. As the saga barrels toward its boiling point, the air around BlakeLively and Justin Baldoni becomes thick with suspicion, betrayal, and spectacle. Every whisper of affection denied, every rumor of manipulation, every allegation of misconduct merges into a single chaotic firestorm that seems unstoppable. It is no longer just about two actors on a set. It is about the collapse of trust in Hollywood, the exposure of its darkest corners, and the way a single rejection can allegedly spiral into an empire-shaking Feud. Fans devour every frame of behind-the-scenes footage, searching for hidden gestures that prove the forbidden crush. Insiders claim that when Baldoni stepped back, when he refused to blur the lines of professionalism, Lively felt humiliated. And in that humiliation lies the genesis of an unrelenting vendetta. The theory paints her as someone unwilling to be seen as unwanted, someone who would rather weaponize gossip, legal threats, and media spin than accept rejection. Quietly, it becomes a story of pride colliding with perception, and perception becoming a weapon sharper than any truth. The rumors intensify when social media detectives resurface comments, old posts, cryptic interviews, everything stitched together into a narrative of seduction, denial, and retaliation. The chaos swells louder when Reynolds enters the frame, allegedly furious that his wife endured rejection and humiliation, his protective instincts supposedly shifting into power moves designed to crush Baldoni from the shadows. Hollywood is no stranger to egos, but this feud, if true, feels more like a chess match with careers, reputations, and legacies as the pieces. Meanwhile, Baldoni insists on his innocence, remaining the man of positivity, but his silence is twisted. His calm demeanor painted as arrogance, his refusal to feed gossip seen as guilt. It is a lose-lose scenario where every move is weaponized against him, and where the court of public opinion is far harsher than any courtroom. Could be the alleged penthouse confrontation between Reynolds and Baldoni becomes legend whispered in industry circles as the night everything unraveled. Some say it was rage over a fat-shaming comment. Others claim it was about loyalty and betrayal. Either way, it becomes the climax of a feud that feels less like reality and more like scripted chaos. The media drinks it, in turning speculation into spectacle. With each headline, fans are left asking, was this ever about love? Or was it about power? Control and survival. Blake painted as the schemer. Baldoni painted as the target. Reynolds painted as the avenger. The truth drowned beneath waves of rumor until even those involved may struggle to recall where reality ended and the story began. And yet, despite the carnage, despite the lawsuits and the whispers and the endless analysis, one truth remains undeniable. The world cannot look away because this is not just a scandal. It is a saga, one that has transformed from whispers on a set to a global obsession, proving once again that in Hollywood nothing is ever simple, nothing is ever private, and nothing is ever truly over in the end. The whirlwind surrounding BlakeLively, Justin Baldoni, and the tangled web of Hollywood secrecy leaves more questions than answers. What began as whispers of rejection and bruised egos has exploded into a global spectacle. A feud so dramatic that it feels scripted, yet so raw that it cuts into the very fabric of trust and image in Hollywood. This saga has blurred the line between truth and rumor, between personal betrayal and public theater. With each headline, the stakes have grown higher, pulling in lawyers, witnesses, and even loved ones who never asked to be in the spotlight. For many fans, it has become more than gossip. It is a reflection of the power struggles that dominate celebrity culture, where image is currency and reputation is war. Lively has been painted as ruthless, Baldoni as the victim, Reynolds as the defender. But in reality, each is caught in a machine far bigger than themselves. The media spins narratives, the fans amplify them, and the industry silently watches, wondering who will emerge unscathed or whether anyone truly can. The unanswered questions linger. Did rejection ignite this entire firestorm? Or is that just a convenient story to explain? Deeper fractures? Did Hollywood protect the truth or bury it to preserve reputations? Did power and pride outweigh love and trust? What is undeniable is the impact this scandal has had. It has shaken careers, cast doubt over alliances, and shown once again that the brightest stars often burn with the darkest shadows. As the dust begins to settle, one thing remains certain. The story is far from over, because in Hollywood, endings are rarely final, and this saga is destined to echo long after the cameras stop rolling.